Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Nikita helping you to come to the UK as an international student or a healthcare professional. Now in my past couple of videos, I've given you a lot of information about what you should do if you want to make an NHS jobs application and submit it to get a job within the NHS. But in today's video, I'm actually going to tell you what you're not supposed to do. And if this is something that you are interested in, please keep watching. So the first and the most important thing that I would not want you all to do is lie about your HCPC application. Now, as we all understand that the HCPC application is the most important part of our process to practice in the UK, because once we have our HCPC registration, only then can we be licensed to practice as healthcare professionals within the UK. Now, if some of y'all are new to my channel and are confused about how you should apply for the HCPC and what is the process for it, I'm just going to leave the link right here above where I've explained all of it in detail. But what I would like to say is in your NHS applications form, whether it's on the NHS website or the Track Jobs website, you will have a space in the form saying, have you applied for your HCPC application or do you have an HCPC registration in place already? What I would request you to do is not lie in this place. So obviously the problem is that if you lie in this particular place, the employer or the NHS employer will already think that you have your HCPC registration in place. And this is something that's mandatory to work as a healthcare professional in the UK. So when you go for the interview and if they ask you about it, and obviously at an interview stage, you cannot lie about this information. So then it will give a very wrong or a bad impression for the NHS employer about yourself. So what I would want you all to do is be honest and truthful about it. If you have made an HCPC application, just write in your HCPC application saying, I've made an application and awaiting registration. But if you have an HCPC registration, please go ahead and fill it as so. Another important point that I would like to highlight at this stage is that a lot of Band 5 roles are only offered to applicants who have their HCPC registration. But that does not mean that if you do not have your HCPC registration in place, you cannot make applications for these roles. So if you are interested in any particular role while you are browsing through the NHS Jobs website and you find a role that you think is the perfect match for you, I would suggest that you make an application, because based on your skills and experiences, the NHS employer, even though he knows that you have mentioned that you have not had your HCPC registration, may actually call you for an interview. So do not miss out on this opportunity. The second most important point that I would like to highlight to each and every person making their NHS jobs application is do not ignore the job description or the person specification documents on the NHS jobs website or on the Track Jobs website. Now, I know that applying for every job just seems like a struggle and you will nearly take about 30 minutes to an hour to make a tailored job application for each of them. And if you want more information about that, I'm just going to leave the link to my videos above. But despite this being a long process, I know how happy you feel to be at the receiving end of a call saying you've been invited to an interview, or when you receive that email early morning saying you've been invited to an interview. All of that 1 hour of this long process of making an application for one particular job really pays off. So what I would request each and every one of y'all is actually to read the job description and read the person specification documents that are present along with the job when you are applying for it, and pick out the keywords and phrases that each of these job description responsibilities or roles have, and use those words while highlighting your skills in your previous role, or you may use it in your supporting information section. But when you do this, the employer also now knows that you've actually taken an effort to read the role, understand the responsibilities, and have then filled out the NHS jobs application. Also, the second reason is because a lot of employers actually go through hundreds of job applications just to select a few people for an interview. So if you've used the specific words that they have put out in their job applications, it actually creates a good impression for them, because now they don't have to read about your job application and think, oh, is this person a good fit for me or no? For example, it may say, you have good communication skills. So if you actually write you have excellent communication skills and demonstrate it with an example, it makes it easier for the employer to choose you over maybe say 5 candidates. Now that actually brings me to my third point, that while you list down your experiences and skills from your previous employment, your previous internships or observationships, what I would not want you to do is not write responsibility or a role responsibility that you've not had in your previous job. For example, if you are applying for a band 6 position, a lot of band 6 position asks whether you have supervised some junior staff or interns or students. And if you have not supervised them, or if you have no experience in supervision, please do not write that you have supervised people. Because obviously, when you mention this in your job application, the next possible question in your interview could be, give us an instance where you have supervised someone and the outcome was not good. And at that point of time, you will obviously be stumped because you have no experience of supervision. So what I would say is obviously stick to the roles and responsibilities that you have that are present in the job description while you make your CV or while you make your supporting information section document, because this will bring a lot of clarity for you and for the employer when they think about getting you for an interview or they think about hiring you as an employee within the NHS. And finally, one last advice that I have to give each and every one of you is do not be disheartened by rejection from the NHS employers. So I know of someone who has actually personally given many interviews, and it took him really long to get his first NHS job, and it would have been quite disheartening. I myself was on the other end of maybe 2 NHS interviews where I did not get selected. But I know that it feels even more worse to not be selected for an interview. And now there can be several reasons why this has happened or why you've not heard back from an NHS employer. The first reason could obviously be that some main trusts in London or in UK receive thousands of applications and they just do not write that email saying that you have been unsuccessful in the process or whatever. So it's really hard for them to get through all of the applications and even put out that one generic email, which is why you may not hear from some trusts for months and months to come. The second reason can obviously be that the closing date of the job application is nowhere in sight. For example, if you see all of the job applications in the NHS on the NHS website or on the Track Jobs website, you will see that each of them have a very specific closing date. So once the closing date reaches, the NHS employer or the manager would actually read through all of the applications and choose the ones that they want to invite for an interview. Now, this process obviously takes some time, and some job applications may have a closing date of say 3 weeks, some may have it for even 2 months. So you may not hear back from this employer for almost 2 months, and maybe once the closing date is passed through and then they've reviewed all of the documents or all of the applications, then they would invite you for an interview. But in the meanwhile, as an applicant, you are stressed because you've made 50 applications and you've not heard from even 10 of them. So what I would suggest is that if you are in a really hard state where you need a job really soon, try to find jobs that have a really short closing date, for example, within a week or within 1 day or within 2 days, because then that assures you that that employer will actually review your application sooner and you will hear back from them. Also, it's quite often that most of us read this particular job description and we are like, oh my god, this is a perfect role for me. I think this is the best place I could get. The job experience that I would get over here is going to be really amazing. And when you don't hear back from them, you are actually wondering, did I do something wrong? Have I made a mistake in my job application? And let me just assure you that no, the mistake is not yours. So do not be disheartened that if you do not hear back from them within say 1 week or 2 weeks following the closing date, because it's absolutely not your fault. Some NHS trusts are just overwhelmed with the number of applications that they receive for any particular job description. And it has happened to me as well, where I would have not heard back from some NHS trust. But what I would say is don't be disheartened. Keep applying for jobs, because only if you apply for jobs will you be invited for an interview. So that's it, you guys, for today, and I hope you really like this content. Now, if you like this content, please do not forget to give me a thumbs up or a like for this video. And if you would like similar content, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button for my channel so that you receive all of the weekly updates from my channel. But lastly, if you have any questions, doubts, comments, or any feedback about these videos, please leave them down in the comment section below and I will try to get back to them and even possibly make videos on them. So please do not forget to leave any thoughts that you have in the comment section below. But that's it, you guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.